If something happened to you, would your kids know what all of your photos mean? You know, the ones that are in the boxes, the bins, and really shoved in the back of the closets. Would they really know what all those pictures are all about? If that sounds like you and you're worried about that, hang out with me for a few minutes and let's talk that through. I want to talk about something I think a lot of women in this phase of life feel, but don't always get to say out loud. And that is, I don't want to leave this for my kids. And today I want to specifically talk about your photos because photos are one of those things that so many of us have shoved in bins, boxes, drawers, closets, albums, random containers, old envelopes. I mean, think of all the places that we've shoved photos and we know they're there. But if our kids came across them when something happens to us, will our kids actually know what those pictures are all about? And we have them shoved not because we don't think they don't matter, because they really do. It's the opposite. They matter so much that we feel so overwhelmed by where to even begin. We don't know where to start. We don't know what to keep. We don't know what to throw away. We don't know how to organize them in a way that actually makes sense. So what do? We do what a lot of people do when something feels that emotionally overwhelming. We do nothing. And I totally get that because this isn't just about clutter. This is not just about getting organized. This is about your life, your people, your memories, your history. And when something carries that much weight, it makes sense that you avoid it. But here's the hard truth. If we keep doing nothing, we are not protecting those memories. We are actually putting them at risk. Because if something happened to you, your kids are not going to look at those boxes of random pictures the way you do. They're not going to know who everybody is. They're not going to know what year it was. They're not going to know why that picture mattered. And they're not going to know which ones were the highlights and which ones were just extra copies, blurry shots, and random filler photos from back in the day when we printed everything. They're just going to see boxes. And when people are overwhelmed, they simplify. And that often means they get thrown out. Not because the memories didn't matter, but because there was no context, no organization, no meaning attached for the next generation. And that is the part that really breaks my heart because there's so much beauty in those photos. There's family history in there. There's so many stories in all those pictures. There are people your grandkids may never even know unless you tell them. There are moments that really deserve more than being shoved in a closet until someone else has to deal with them. That's why I think this matters so much. This is legacy work. And you know what sounds big, but is so true? If your kids don't know who the people are in the photos, if they don't know what mattered, if it's not labeled or organized in a way that makes sense, then your history gets lost. And I don't want that for you. Now, I want to say this because this is where I think people get stuck. I am not telling you that you need to go organize every single picture you own this coming weekend. I'm not telling you to make this perfect. I'm not telling you to create some giant scrapbook system overnight. I'm not telling you to sit down for 10 hours and relive your whole life. This is exactly why people quit. This is exactly why it keeps getting pushed off. But what I am saying is this: you need to start. You need to start small enough that it actually feels doable. That is the clear difference here. I had a client recently tell me that I made this feel doable. And honestly, that meant so much to me because that is exactly what I want. I don't want to be another person online telling you to do something in a way that feels unrealistic for your life. I want you to feel like, okay, maybe I can actually do this time. Maybe I can grab one small box. Maybe I can sort one small stack. Maybe I can start making some decisions. Maybe I can stop letting this hang over me. Because this is how this gets done. Not all at once, just in baby steps. In small, repeatable steps that help you move forward without shutting down. And I think that this is what really makes a difference. It's not about pressure or perfection or keeping everything. It's about asking yourself, what matters most here? What do I want to preserve? What would I want my kids or grandkids to be able to understand, enjoy, and hold on to? What are the stories that deserve to keep being told? And when you start there, things get clearer. You stop looking at it like one giant mountain of photos, and you really start to look at it as meaningful decisions, one at a time. You also start thinking with the end in mind. What do I actually want with these photos? Do I want a simple bin for each child? Do I want small collections of photos that really tell a family story? Do I want certain milestones highlighted? Do I want names and dates written on them while I still remember them? Because that's another piece of it. Memories fade. That is just real. So if there are names, relationships, stories, years, places, family connections, that's what matters. And it's time to get those things documented. Not later, but right now. And again, I'm not saying this to create fear. I'm saying it because it's true and because it matters to you. And because if it matters to you, then it deserves your attention. Even if all you can give it right now is 10 minutes, even if all you do this week is pick one small pile and make a few decisions, that still matters. That's still progress. That is still you protecting your legacy instead of passing down the confusion. And I really want you to hear that. Small progress here is not small. It matters because every labeled photo matters. Every organized group of memories matter. Every story you preserve matters. And your kids may not fully understand that now, but one day they will. One day they'll be so grateful that they know who are in those photos. They know why something mattered, that they have something meaningful to hold on to instead of a burden to sort through. And let's face it, if something happens to you, that's exactly what it is. Boxes of things they don't fully understand, and it is a burden. They're grieving you. They want to know this stuff, and they will feel a little frustrated that they don't know who these people are, and they don't know why you kept all this because they don't understand why it matters so much to you. And that's the legacy that we're working on. So if this is something that you've been putting off, I just want to encourage you. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. It's only going to get harder the older we get. Stop thinking you have to do it all at once, and stop assuming it will somehow get easier later. It usually doesn't. But it can get more doable if you have a plan, and that's exactly why I created the photo reset. I created it to help you finally start this process in a way that feels clear, manageable, and most of all, realistic. Not perfect, not overwhelming, and not all at once. Just one small step at a time so you can actually follow through. If that's something you need, I want you to go check out the description and see the link for my photo reset program. And if this video hits home, let it that now is the time to start protecting the memories that matter because they deserve more than just the box that's sitting in your closet. They deserve meaning, and so do you. If you resonate with this video, hit the subscribe button if you're here on YouTube or follow along on one of my social media platforms. I have a business that's completely dedicated to helping you reset your home, your life in this empty nester phase so that we can document, we can simplify life, and we can truly come together because this phase of life is different. Check out the photo reset program and I'll see you in the next video.